So, couple of big blows courtesy Ravindra Jadeja, and CSK have managed to set a target of 170. We've seen bigger scores at the MCA Stadium in Pune this season. So, what kind of score is 169 against the Gujarat Titans minus Hardik Pandya, the batter? We'll find out on Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout, powered by IQ 9 5G. Still got Ian Bishop with me, but for some quality analysis for a change, Wasim Jaffer takes Sanjay Manjrekar's place. Good evening, Wasim.
Good
Now
evening,
tell me
Raunak.
what sort of score 169 is.
I think Chennai will be disappointed, Raunak. I think they were 100 for 2 in 12th over. So going forward in next 8 overs, they only managed to get 60 or 70 runs in the next 8 overs. So I think they'll be disappointed. I think they were 20 short going forward. But I think Gujarat Titan pulled things back really well in that middle period. When Raidu and Ruturaj were going on, it looked like they were going at fifth gear. But I think Gujarat Titan pulled things really back.
Yeah, all right. So the happier team would be the Titans. And Bish, you concur?
I don't know where to lean, to be honest with you. I'm being totally honest, because no Hardik Pandya, leading run scorer for Gujarat Titans, is a big miss. And I really do love the way Ambati Raidu and Gaikwad counteract, the way they pulled against a short ball, the way they drove the ball was something to behold. Yes, I do agree, though, that they looked as though they should have been on target for a little bit more, maybe 15 or 20. But I'm not sure yet where to lean on this one, given the absence of Hardik.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point. If this was with Hardik Pandya, maybe it would have been easier to say Titans would take that. Without Hardik Pandya, will Riddhiman Saha at the top fire, etc., etc. But when in doubt, Bish, you could always trust Wasim Jaffer. I know you've had a hard time
I
trusting the
know,
other
I know.
panelists.
He's a very
Yeah,
trustworthy guy. I
yeah, he
follow
is. He
him on
is.
social media. He usually is correct.
Good, good. Yeah, for a change, I've got someone who I can trust on my right here in the studio. Anyway, enough of that. I know Sanjay's not watching this show, so it's fine. Right, but let's talk about Ruturaj Gaikwad. He has got twice the runs or more than that in this one innings than he did in all the innings previously in this year's edition. It's the best of Ruturaj Gaikwad finally, Wasim. I mean, what was different today? He looked like he wasn't even out of form in the last few games.
Well, I think he took his time. If you see his inning, he batted cautiously against Sami at the start. And then the first big shot he played was in the fourth over. So I think he took his time. He respected the conditions. And that was probably the difference. He looked more solid today. And then after that, once he came into the groove, we saw the old of Ruturaj. And that's been his pattern in the last 3 years. Yeah. He's always been a very slow starter. But once he gets going, now you can probably see him scoring consistently. But good to see him coming back to form. Chennai fans and Chennai team will be very happy.
I mean, if they win this game, and if Ruturaj Gaikwad is to turn a corner in this, I mean, that could be massive for them. Which we spoke of how his lack of runs have cost them so dearly. But it's a funny one. Normally, when a player's coming back after 4 horrible games, you think he'll be scratchy, he might come through. This guy looked good today. I mean, he looked like $100 million.
Yeah, I think there were one or two innings. I think there was one innings where he got to 17 or 18 where he looked in reasonably good touch and just didn't kick on. And as he got into his innings, the positivity, as I said, because when Gary Kirsten was interviewed, he said they brought Alzari Joseph mainly back for his extra pace against CSK. So he felt that pace was really the thing that was going to work. And Ambati Raidu and Gaikwad really took it on. And I'm sitting there watching this and I'm thinking, what confidence to play the short ball in the way that they did, and then one or two drives down the ground. So it was great to see Gaikwad branch off into a solid, aggressive role after getting that start.
Yeah, excellent from Ruturaj Gaikwad, helped by Ambati Raidu, who's not always had a lot of time to bat. Were you surprised, Wasim, that he walked in ahead of Shivam Dube? I thought they were going to cash in on Dube's form. Looked like Shivam Dube struggled, funny enough.
No, I don't think so. I think when second wicket fell pretty quickly, that's been the pattern that Ambati Raidu walks in. Once they have a decent partnership, when the game goes to 8 or 10 overs, then you see Shivam Dube walking out. So I was not surprised. And I think he plays the short ball better than Shivam Dube, Ambati Raidu. So I think it was pretty good planning, I would say. And I mean, Alzari Joseph did bowl fast, but if you are a little bit off length, this pitch doesn't help you. It's not the biggest of the ground. The pitch doesn't help you in that manner. So I think they use the conditions really well.
Yeah, I mean, the Titans have played at this ground before, Bish, but like you don't know what to make of the target. I wonder if you can tell me what you made of the overall fast bowling and the plans. Lockie Ferguson had a great game against Rajasthan, an off one before that. Seems to have another off one today. Did they bowl poorly? Did Lockie in particular bowl poorly?
Um, well, when he challenged them, with the short ball, they were able to put it away. And also in Alzari's, I suppose, that second over, I think it was of Alzari Joseph, they did the same thing. And then he was off target a couple of times where he got clipped down the leg side. So he wasn't at his best. But again, I always say it's a volatile format of the game. But if I have to split hairs, I'd say Lucky wasn't as good as we've seen him in times past. But I want to give some credit, though, to the
Yeah.
two batsmen that we spoke about in the way they challenged and put pressure back on Lucky Ferguson and a couple
Yeah,
of the others.
yeah. I think it's fair to say we'll come back to both the innings as well as how Gujarat bowled, depending on the result. It almost seems like one of those. If they've done well to get to 169, we'll talk about the bowling. Perhaps if they're comfortably short, then we can come back to it. But I was very curious, Bish, to see how Rashid Khan uses himself, and that's not something we get to see often in the IPL. Looks like he doesn't mind bowling the 19th over, at least when he's in charge.
But RK, you brought up a really significant point yesterday where you proffered the question about whether bowlers like himself should be bowling deeper into the innings, and that we saw Kuldeep bowl the 20th over yesterday, whether by design or just by happenstance, and then Rashid doing what he did today. I don't know yet. It's too small a sample size to say how all of these things are paying off. But someone like Rashid Khan, with his control, with his ability to spin the ball both ways at pace, I think should always be an option to bowl at that area of the innings.
Wasim, I mean, sometimes we wonder, do captains want to bowl Rashid in the middle? Does Rashid feel more comfortable bowling in the middle? He's bowled the 19th today, conceded just 6. And even there, we didn't see the batters really want to take him on.
They were trying to take him on, but it's Rashid Khan, so it's not going to be easy. And it was a very brave call. Sometimes when you're captain, you want to finish your spell early, but that wasn't the case. I mean, that's something very nice to see. I mean, when a spinner is a captain, he wants to finish himself early. But that was a brave call. If any fast bowler would have bowled that over, he could have easily gone for 15 or more. But that was nice to see somebody with that kind of quality. You don't mind to throw the ball. I mean, we've seen with Sunil Narayan or Varun Chakravarti doing that for KKR. Rashid can definitely do that for Gujarat Titans time and again.
They were 124, Wasim, at the end of the 14th over. The next 3 overs have gone for 1, 4, and 6, respectively. That's overs 15 to 17 going for 11. And then you have the 19th over by Rashid going for 6 again. You had the finish of the 18. Somewhere, why did this innings not sort of take off? They had wickets in hand, they had MS Dhoni in reserve, they had batting even after that in Dwayne Bravo. Was that a bit odd, that period of play with Dubey and Jadeja taking their time?
Yeah, I think Dubey wasn't as fluent as he's been so far. I think that period you talked about. I think they lost a couple of wickets there. The runs didn't came, and then obviously Rashid bowling that 19th over. But I think they'll be happy. They at least finished close to 170. They'll be happy. Probably 185, 190 would have been better. But like Bish said, there's no Hardik Pandya, so that's going to be a big question mark chasing that total. Shubman Gill has to come good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's very untested. Riddhiman Saha is playing after a long time. He hasn't played a T20 for a long time. Abhinav Manohar is playing his first IPL. So a lot of question mark. Matthew Wade hasn't come. Matthew Wade anyway is not playing. But
even David Vijay Shankar
yeah,
at 3,
David Miller again, Vijay
Wow.
Shankar.
We read this lineup, we don't feel a lot of confidence, do we? I mean, with due respect to everybody, Riddhiman Saha's coming from Matthew Wade. Vijay Shankar's looked pretty ordinary. David Miller's had one cameo and that's it. Manohar, I don't know what you're going to get from him when he doesn't have Hardik Pandya at the other end. There's Tewatia, who's played a 2-ball cameo, but that's
Exactly,
it.
yeah.
So, gee.
Shubman Gill has to score bulk of the score. Otherwise, it's very untested, batting lineup. So interesting. What Bish said is absolutely right. There's no Hardik Pandya to fall back on. So it's going to be a good chase.
Yeah, and let's not forget the conversation we're having on repeat. CSK's bowling lineup. It's not necessarily the strongest. This is a great gamble. Good luck, Bish, when I ask you the prediction question. What's going to happen here now? Are CSK going to defend this?
No,
Are Gujarat going to
don't
chase?
let me enjoy the second innings. Don't ask me for any prediction. Chris Jordan has to bowl better. Let's put it.
Yeah.
You know that Tikshana will be steady. If Shubman, I'm not usually in favor of anchors, especially guys who just bat through an innings. But I think in this case, I wonder if Shubman Gill might be better off doing that. Saha couldn't really do any worse than Matthew Wade has done. Matthew Wade has struck nothing really this season. So that's a good base to be starting from if you're Saha.
All right, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Wasim Jaffer is going to give you a prediction now. He's going to give you one of those nothing to lose sort of predictions. And I must tell you, Bish, he gets a lot of these right.
Uh-huh.
There's something almost,
I know.
brilliantly suspicious about Wasim Jaffer that he gets this right. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Wasim.
you put me
Prophetic.
under pressure, Raunak. I would say Gujarat Titan to chase this one.
Okay.
I'll expect Shubman Gill and even Riddhiman Saha to come good. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
All right. Bish, are you inclined to agree or you don't care? You just want to come to me at the end of this game?
No, I am just going to promise that if Wasim is right, I'm shaving my head tomorrow for the rest of the week in reverence to Wasim Jaffa because he often so gets it right.
Oh, Bish, that's awesome. You were so convincing that I actually believe that you are doing something significant, but you're not. Let's leave it there. Big thank you to Ian Bishop and Wasim Jaffer, and we will hear from them at the end of this game. It's a game that the Titans should fancy. If they had Hardik Pandya, we would have said, yeah, surely they're going to do this. Maybe they still will. Otherwise, CSK, if they can make it 2 out of 2, that should make for a great conversation to join us then at the end of the game on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket Info T20 Timeout, powered by IQ 95G.